In this video, we are going to be covering some of the hottest NFT drops you gotta keep an eye out for. Diving right into it, we're gonna be talking about one of the most hyped projects that was just recently announced, and that is going to be Moonbirds. Now, Moonbirds is going to be the official PFP for the Proof Collective. And if you don't know what the Proof Collective is, it is essentially an NFT project by Proof. And there's basically going to be 1,000 of these items, and they're all membership cards into this special community. And as you can see, each one is 82 Ethereum at the moment. I think at the peak it was like 98 or something, so which is ridiculous because at the time when I first heard of this, it was literally just at 2 ETH. So what is Proof Collective anyways? Well, essentially Proof is a podcast which is run by Kevin Rose, who is a partner with True Ventures, and they are basically a VC firm that invests billions of dollars into startup companies. And basically this is their community for people that like to collect art and NFTs and things like that. And because of the wild success of Proof Collective, I'm guessing that they wanted to expand their collection, get into the hands of more people who can't necessarily spend 82 Ethereum. I mean, I can't spend 82 Ethereum on this, and offer another way for them to join their ecosystem. So that's where the Moonbirds come in. So essentially they're gonna be like these little birds, owl kind of picture avatars. The art itself is pretty cool, but it doesn't really matter what the art is. You're really buying into the community that is the Proof Collective, True Ventures, and all the VCs, venture capitalists that do invest in tech startups. You're basically becoming or getting into this community, right? And again, the community is probably one of the most important things when it comes to the value of a PFP project. So that's essentially what you're paying for. Speaking of paying, the mint price is going to be 5 days from now at the day of this recording. So by the time you see it, maybe a couple days from now, and then you basically have to enter a raffle by April 15th, and the mint price is going to be 2.5 Ethereum. Now you might be thinking 2.5 is pretty steep. You're absolutely right. It's not cheap, but because they know the demand is so high, because Proof Collective, the floor is 82 Ethereum right now, it kind of makes sense that people are going to pay 2.5 Ethereum for this, especially because most people are going to believe that they're going to get a return on investment. So, if you're lucky enough to get this for 2.5, you can probably flip it for a profit. And that's why all the flippers, all the NFT like traders are going to buy into this, and all the people that actually want to buy it, they're also going to pay a premium because they're going to say, okay, I want to sit in the room with all these VCs because one day I want to be like them one day, or maybe I am already like them and I want to be a part of this circle. That's basically the social utility of this project. From their website, there's not a whole lot of information about it, but it seems like they're also going to do, let's say, Moonbird related drops, real life meetups, which, obviously will be fun. And also they're coming out with a Proof metaverse project called Project High Rise, which is very interesting. Probably they're going to sell land. That's my guess, right? Because they got the Genesis, they got the PFP. What's next? Either Gen 2 or land, right? It's one or the other. And it seems like they're going to have some kind of staking mechanism where you can nest your Moonbird. You can lock them up without leaving your wallet. As soon as the Moonbird is listed, they will accrue benefits, unlock different levels of tiers, and enable enhanced drops and rewards. So obviously they're trying to incentivize people not to sell, and they're not saying they're going to drop a token, but maybe they're going to have you level up your bird, and then maybe it gets to like level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then based on your level, maybe you can get different drops from different artists. And the very valuable thing here is like Proof is very entrenched in like the NFT art world, right? I used to listen to the Proof podcast a lot with Kevin Rose, especially when I first started out to learn about NFTs, and they're interviewing some of the biggest like artists in the NFT space, like founder of Twin Flames, for example, if you're into photography NFTs, founder of Art Block. So like they're getting all the founders of like the biggest projects, right? And so they're gonna have special connections to have limited drops for these specific art pieces based on their relationships. And so that's why people are speculating that Moonbirds will probably be very valuable in the future, because without one, you cannot get access to these special drops. So overall, Kevin Rose, I don't know if he's leading the project or if he's the face of it, but definitely a big bonus to have him as kind of like the celebrity front for this project. True Ventures, which is a $1 billion VC firm. So that's really a good checkbox. Like they probably won't rug pull you, right? Because they have so much to lose if they do something like that. Overall, I would say this is a pretty strong project. Definitely, if you can win the raffle, you have to have 2.5 ETH in your wallet to enter the raffle. If you can get it, I would definitely mint it. Not financial advice, but just letting you guys know what is up. And by the way, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Patrick Dane to get the latest alpha on what I'm looking at. Another project that we're going to talk about real quick is going to be Elio Trade's Imposter Genesis Aliens. Now, a lot of people were anticipating the price to drop after the reveal, but what actually ended up happening is that the price actually pumped after the reveal, which means that a lot of people are bullish on this project, right? If you don't know, like basically when the project comes out, nobody knows what they got, and then what happens is that when the project reveals, most people just dump their NFTs because they're trying to sell it at the peak. But because the price went up, people are very bullish on this play to earn ecosystem by Elio Trades, essentially, right? And so the art itself isn't necessarily good. Well, it's simple. I think it's simple enough to play a simple game. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you my stance on why I believe people are bullish on the project. And again, I don't know everything. This is my personal opinion. So you can definitely disagree or have a different different opinion, you can leave it in the comments, right? From my understanding, LEO Trades is trying to build an entire ecosystem out of Imposters. So it's not just one game that is kind of like a copy of Among Us. That's just the first game in their mini games that they're going to create. So if you think about like play to earn, the ecosystems, especially in the NFT space, what tends to happen is that a lot of them kind of have Ponzi economics. I'm not calling them Ponzi schemes, but it's kind of like you put out an NFT, it increases in value, and there's like staking mechanisms, rewards, and then it only works when more and more people like join the ecosystem. Then the moment when people stop joining the ecosystem, or if a whale decides to dump their NFTs because they want to make the profit, then everything, you know, basically goes down, goes to zero, and then the people at the top make a lot of money, people who came in late lose a lot of money, and then that team will just give up on the project and start the next project, right? Usually that's the cycle that keeps happening, and it's kind of like a casino game almost, where you play against other traders. Now, the difference here with LEO Trades Imposters is that, from my understanding, it's going to be a play and earn type of game, meaning that you can play for free if you want, just like you can play Among Us for free, but also if you want the option to have some type of earning mechanic, or if you want to buy the Genesis, or maybe their lower tier NFTs in the future that are lower prices, then you can also earn a little bit that way, right? So I think the play to earn like NFT kind of games, the ones that will be successful in my opinion are the ones that can onboard regular people that don't really get NFTs, but they will play the game just because it's fun. And from my understanding, you know, they're kind of checking all the boxes of building this type of mainstream game. And we also see that another project like BF Party, for example, and we have an interview with Bushido coming up tomorrow actually. For him, it's the same thing. It's like, how do you get players to come into the ecosystem and want to play the game because it's fun, and have the option to make money if they want to, but if they don't, they can just enjoy the game like you normally would. Imposters definitely check the boxes there, and so that's why I feel that people are very bullish on this project. Now, the next project we're going to cover is going to be Mind Blowon Universe. You might have seen this blowing up on Twitter. They've been doing a lot of AMAs on Twitter Spaces with like basically every influencer you can think of. You know, they really have a good strategy when it comes to marketing, building hype, getting the right whitelist to the right influencers to really blow this up. And it's really interesting because, you know, I also did a video on them before, and I did some collaborations with them for whitelist, giving it to my community, and they also gave me a whitelist as well. But it's really interesting because it's like there's not too much information. Like, I'm literally not in their Discord, even though I collaborate with them, because I don't have an invite. But yeah, you know, based on outside looking in, we don't really know what the PFP is going to look like. We don't really know what the utility is going to be, but we know that there's a lot of hype for this, and the supply is going to be 69. So most likely, because of just the hype alone, without even knowing what the utility is, there's probably going to be some advantages if you're able to mint, or if you're able to snipe and trade and things like that, because with a lot of hype comes a lot of volume, and with a lot of volume comes a lot of volatility, and with the volatility, that's opportunities for traders to usually make money. So this is something you definitely want to keep on your radar if that's something of your taste. In other news, we actually have a different type of concept when it comes to NFT, and that's going to be a NFT restaurant. So this is a restaurant in Long Beach, California, and I'm from California myself, so it's not too far from where I used to live. So essentially, I believe one of the founders who has this Bored Ape over here, he basically used the IP rights that he has to his Bored Ape to start a restaurant. And so the entire restaurant, as you can see, is, you know, decked out with all his apes. He has mutant apes, a Bored Ape over here, his stuff on the walls. So it's very Bored Ape kind of theme, right? I guess it's going to be fries and burgers. Seems like that's going to be the type of food they're going to serve, which makes sense for the type of environment they have. So looking at the menu, they got burgers, they got merchandise, and then they have these mutant feedings. It's a mutant kind of burger, so that's pretty interesting. I couldn't find any pictures on the mutant burgers, but you know, this line is pretty much going crazy, and like the line's literally going out the door around the block. So a lot of people are very hyped for this. It's just one of the, you know, newer examples of like taking an IP of Bored Ape and combining it into like the Web 2 world, like literally bridging the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. So a lot of people mess with this. Like, you don't have to have a Bored Ape to eat here. It's just kind of like used for branding purposes, and it's quite genius, right? And one of the founders, Anthony Nguyen, I actually followed this guy like 5 or 6 years ago, because back in the day, I actually started like a pop-up ice cream shop, and I was trying to look for inspirations of people who've done like, you know, really cool modern restaurants. And so I found this guy, and he had like a bunch of different like restaurants and food trucks and stuff like that. So I definitely know who he is. Like, After's ice cream was like super big, especially in my area where I grew up. You know, this guy's a serial entrepreneur. He has multiple food restaurants. He knows how to build the hype. He knows how to get the line like around the block, and now he's combining NFTs and restaurants. So I'm pretty bullish on him overall. It would be really interesting if there was like an NFT that can like represent this restaurant, so that people can kind of invest with him and go along for the ride. You know, that seems more complicated than it needs to be, but you know, it's interesting to see, you know, how far this will go in the future. Now, the next project that we're going to talk about is Garbage Friends. Now, Garbage Friends is not going to come out until, let's say, like a few months from now. I would say like 4 or 5 months, but I just kind of want to put it on your radar because it's going to be hyped. Now, the person who started Garbage Friends is going to be Motion Marcus, who is is the person behind Invisible Friends. And Invisible Friends is one of the most hyped projects right now and has a steady 6.3 Ethereum floor, which is pretty nice for more of an art project, and there's not much utility announced quite yet, or not public information that is. You know, just to give you an idea of Invisible Friends, you know, at first I was kind of like, it's just kind of like nice art, but like what are they gonna do? And it seems like they're doing a lot of great collaborations. For example, they are doing a long-term collaboration with Kith, one of the most famous streetwear brands right now, started by Ronnie Feg. You know, we're gonna see like what is gonna happen. Are they gonna like deck these out in clothes? Are they gonna do 3D? Are they gonna do metaverse plays? We don't know yet, but Ronnie Feg is pretty legit in that streetwear kind of world, so very interesting to see what they cook up. So how Garbage Friends will interact with Invisible Friends, I don't know, but it seems like they're gonna create this whole friend universe. So if you think about like Invisible Friends, and then maybe Garbage Friends would be like tier 2, like how you have Cool Cats and then Cool Cats Pets, right? So we don't really know what it's gonna be, but we know that everybody's hyped for this. As you can see, like just any tweet this guy puts out will get like thousands and thousands of likes. It'll probably sell out instantly, so definitely put it on your radar. And don't forget to join our Discord, where we're gonna be updating you with the latest information on the Parallax NFT coming up. Shifting gears a little bit and bringing it into the physical world, we're gonna talk about Azuki real quick. Now Azuki, you know, 5 hours ago, they just dropped this little trailer or like highlight reel of what went down during their, you know, event in Los Angeles. And we can see all these people hanging out. There's a lot of people partying, a lot of art. Wiz Khalifa was here. It's pretty interesting because it's like Azuki is going beyond just like an NFT brand, but it's almost like a lifestyle brand, kind of like Supreme is in a way, right? You know, a lot of people are saying like, you know, what's the utility of Azuki, right? Like you see in Twitter, people are like, oh my God, like Azuki's not innovative at all. They just copied this contract and they call it their own, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of people saying those kind of things. If you think about it, you know, with all that said, taking out technical innovation, sometimes in some ways, how an NFT makes someone feel, in some ways is the ultimate utility, right? Like if somebody feels good, they feel like they have status, they feel like they are somebody in this world, and they feel a connection with a brand and connect with other people, that itself is a very powerful utility that in a way it's very difficult to buy with money, right? And so Azuki is able to create that feeling for a lot of people. Best of all, it's available for purchase if you have the money, right? So I think overall Azuki is doing a pretty good job when it comes to like protecting their brand reputation, collaborating with the right people. Like they just did a collaboration with Epic High for Coachella, right? Coachella is one of the biggest music festivals in North America, if not the world. So yeah, so I'm definitely watching Azuki pretty closely just to kind of see, like, I personally don't have any Azukis. I kind of missed out on that, even though I covered it way before they minted. But I'm really looking at their marketing strategies because there's a lot that I can learn as we start the Parallax NFT project. And also, you know, we can see like hints and elements of things that do well, and we see if other projects kind of mimic that or take inspiration from that, because if it worked one place, it probably will work at another place, right? So anybody who, you know, makes people feel as a utility, I'm definitely bullish on that. Now, speaking of anime projects, we're going to talk about Phantom Network real quick by the Nanoverse ecosystem. So over the past few weeks, the founders, Ray and others, have been doing a lot of AMAs, and so far people are really liking Nanoverse and PXN. And I did personally listen to one of the AMAs with Ray, and why I think they're making so much progress right now and building up so much hype is really because, in my opinion, they really tapped into this meme culture and community, right? Like when you listen to Ray's AMA, for example, he's like in there, he's in the weeds, he's talking to all the moderators, he's talking to the people, he knows like a bunch of people's names in the community, he follows them, so it's like he's so active in that community, and it feels like he actually cares, and he probably does, right? And because he is able to articulate himself really well in an AMA, he's able to convey those emotions and feelings to other people who are listening, and suddenly they become so much more bullish, because in the NFT crypto space, there's not a lot of people who are really great at communicating. Maybe they're really smart when it comes to like tokenomics or art and things like that, but like to be a face of a project and to speak openly about it confidently and actually can back up what you say is very rare. So I think because of those AMAs, it's really helping a lot. So that's actually a tip. If you're very strong at communicating and you want to get your project out there, do AMAs, because it really does work and drive the attention. And I feel like in general, NFTs is more about like getting people to believe more than anything, right? And because like a lot of these prices that we see, these crazy floor prices, they're created from speculative value, meaning that people are buying into something because they expect the price of the floor to increase over time based on the leadership and execution. So if you do make people believe, you know, one person at a time, it really does go a long way, especially if you can back up everything that you say and you actually say the things that you do, and that just increases the probability of your success, and also de-risk yourself as a project and allows people to want to invest in you. So that's something I'm definitely learning from Project PXN and Nanoverse. And if you didn't know, PXN is dropping soon, probably this month or next month. Official date is not confirmed. Nanoverse Phase 2, which is the 3D model, is going to be dropping soon as well. So you definitely want to keep those on your radar because these are some of the hottest projects. And on top of that, we also have Karafuru as well, which is another project that I'm bullish on. If you've seen me make videos on them before, but again, they're going to be dropping a 3D project sometime this month or next month. I'm not quite sure quite yet. And it's a collaboration with Hypebeast and Atmos, right? And if you didn't know, Hypebeast actually created a separate company. I'm not sure if it's a separate company or a branch company, but they created a new Twitter account called Hype Moon. And from my understanding, this is going to be their entire NFT branch. So it's really really bullish that a company like Hypebeast, which controls a lot of the narrative when it comes to streetwear, created its own separate arm just for NFTs. And one of the projects they're doing first is the Karafuru one with Atmos and Hypebeast. So I'm pretty bullish on the space overall. And so with that said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to join our Discord where I'm going to be leaking new information on Parallax NFT, and make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. With that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.